Welcome to Navigating the STAAR, the English EOC introductory lesson, which is intended to provide you with an overview of the components of the English end-of-course exams for English 1 and English 2. Later, you'll spend more time understanding each of the areas separately. This introduction is just intended to let you see what comprises the exam and the final test score. So let's get started. First, let's begin with an overview of STAAR and the types of questions you may see on the exam. On this table, you can see 7 question types that may be included on your EOC exam. Notice that some of the questions are worth 2 points, some are worth 1 or 2 points depending on the question, and the short and extended constructed responses are graded with a rubric and their point values differ. We will talk about them more a little later. It's important to note that not all question types will appear on every test every year, but it is a good idea to be familiar with these item types in case they do pop up on an exam. In thinking about how the test is designed, this blueprint from the Texas Education Agency sheds light on the reporting categories and number of questions you will encounter. As you see, reading will have 29 to 31 questions, and writing will have 21 to 23 questions. There will be 48 one-point questions, 3 two-point questions, and 1 extended constructed response for a total of 52 questions. So let's talk about short constructed responses. Comparing the reading and writing short constructed responses, the reading short constructed response is worth 2 points, and you will provide an answer and evidence to demonstrate understanding of the content with 475 characters as your limit. An example of a reading SCR might sound like, "Why is the play divided into 2 scenes?" Support your answer with evidence from the play. The writing SCR is worth 1 point with 475 characters as your limit, and you will be constructing a complete sentence that corrects a revising or editing error. Here is an example of a writing SCR prompt. Sentence 14 needs to be revised. In the space provided, rewrite sentence 14 in a clear and effective way. The reading SCR prompts are passage-based questions worth 2 points that can be answered in a few sentences or a brief paragraph. These items assess reading skills only, not language conventions like grammar, capitalization, punctuation, etc. Raters will be using an item-specific rubric looking for the answer to the question and evidence to support it. No explanation is needed in order to successfully answer the question. Let's look at a few examples of reading SCR prompts. Which events in the excerpt help express the theme of self-determination? Support your answer with evidence from the excerpt. Here's another one. What is the most likely reason the poet includes the words tired and disapproving in the last stanza, lines 19 through 21? Support your answer with evidence from the poem. As you can see, these prompts are asking about what you have read to determine your proficiency with reading skills. In the Reading SCR rubric, to earn the full 2 points, you will need to do 4 things. Accurately answer the question, include at least 1 piece of evidence from the text, choose evidence that accurately supports the response, and base your response and evidence on the text. You'll notice to earn 1 point, the evidence does not need to support the answer stated, come from outside the source text, or no evidence is provided. Or the response may cite or paraphrase relevant text evidence, but an accurate answer is not given. Finally, a score of 0 is given to a response that is incorrect, not passage-based, or just is not given at all. As a reminder, writing SCRs are 1-point questions where you will demonstrate your proficiency in an assessed skill by constructing a sentence that corrects a revising or editing error. Here's an example of an English 1 writing SCR prompt. Sentence 7 needs to be revised. In the box provided, rewrite sentence 7 in a clear and effective way. As you can see from this prompt, you are asked to correct a revising error. Now let's shift our focus to extended constructed responses. As mentioned earlier, ECRs are passage-based prompts which require you to write a response in the form of an essay. These items will evaluate organization and development of ideas, worth 3 points, and conventions, worth 2 points, using a 5-point rubric. Something important to note, if a response receives a score point 0 in development and organization of ideas, then it will automatically receive a 0 on conventions. You may be asked to write a response in one of three modes: informational, argumentative, correspondence. Again, you're allowed a maximum of 2,300 characters, not including spaces, but this does not include punctuation. You will write in response to a single piece of text you have read or a pair of texts, and your text evidence can be summarized, paraphrased, or directly quoted. The prompt will indicate the genre in which you should respond, and the mode of writing will be based on the prompt, not the reading passage. So let's say you read a fiction piece. The prompt may ask you to write an informational essay. Finally, your ECR will be scored on a 5-point genre-specific rubric by 2 human raters for a total of 10 points. Let's break down an ECR prompt so we know what to expect and what the test makers are asking students to do. Here is a prompt from an English II exam. Read the article, "Volunteering is its own reward." Based on the information in the article, write a response to the following. Write a letter to your principal in which you argue who would benefit most from a volunteering program at school: student participants or members of the community they could serve. Write a well-organized letter that responds to this prompt. Use specific evidence from the article to support your answer. Here's what's important to notice. There is a read stimulus. This answers the question, what am I reading? There's a content stimulus, which answers the question, what content am I writing? And there's a genre stimulus, which answers the question, how will I write my essay? Be sure you have a thesis statement based on the prompt and that you are responding to the prompt. We've taken a look at ECRs and some sample prompts. Now let's examine the rubric from which they will be scored. Remember, you will be assessed on development and organization of ideas first. To receive the full 3 points, you need to consider the following: your thesis statement, if writing an informational essay, or argument, if writing an argumentative essay, is clear and fully developed. Also, if you are writing an argumentative essay, you have included a counter-argument that is refuted. Your essay's organization is effective, your evidence is specific, well-chosen, and relevant, and your expression of ideas is clear and effective. Receiving 2 points means that some of these elements are partially developed, limited, or basic. Receiving 1 point means that these elements are not developed, weak, insufficient, or ineffective. And a score of 0 points means that these elements are unclear or not evident. And remember, if a student scores a 0 on this portion of the rubric, they will score 0 on the conventions section as well. Content is very critical in scoring the ECR. When scoring for conventions, raters are looking for a consistent command of grade level appropriate conventions, such as sentence construction, punctuation, capitalization, grammar, and spelling. So, what have we learned about the STAAR English EOC? The reading section of the test includes 29 to 31 questions, and the writing portion has 21 to 23 items. You will see multiple choice questions and non-multiple choice items, as well as one extended constructed response. I hope this information helps you start thinking about your own strengths and weaknesses when it comes to this exam. I also hope it gives you a starting point for thinking about how to approach the test the next time you take it. Good luck!